5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Robin Matutino, and on behalf of the pastors and our Board of Trustees, we welcome you to Colby Memorial Temple and our Sunday service. To begin our service, Ken will light 3 candles, symbolizing the unity of body, mind, and spirit. Thank you very much. And now our pastor will lead our invocation. Good morning, everyone.
I think you look like spring flowers coming up from the earth. I like your colors. So let's rise for the invocation. As we invoke the presence of Spirit, we come into our hearts, our spiritual hearts, and we offer this prayer. Welcome, Spirit. Our hearts are gathered together to receive blessings, to receive guidance, and to receive healing. Allow our hearts to be open to remove any limitations, that the blessings and the healing be received fully for each one and for all. And with this we say, Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Remain standing for our first hymn. Our vocalist is Jamie Osmond.
If you could turn to page 140, Peace Like a River. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. Peace like, got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. Love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. Got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. Thank you. You may be seated.
Located on the handout are our Declaration of Principles. Please join me in reciting those principles together. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomenon of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact, scientifically proven by the phenomenon of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule. Whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them. We affirm the moral responsibility of the individual and that he makes his own happiness or unhappiness as he obeys or disobeys nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul, here or hereafter. We affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing contained in the Bible are divine attributes proven through mediumship. And now, the healing prayer is located in the back of your hymnal. Please recite with me the prayer for spiritual healing. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and the power of God. And now for those of you who would wish to receive spiritual healing, please take a seat along the sides and go to the next available healer. And while the healers work, the rest of us will join in a guided meditation. So find a comfortable position, clear your laps, and take a few deep breaths. Uncross your arms or legs. Place your hands in your laps, up or down, whatever's most comfortable, and your feet as flat on the floor as you can. With each breath you take, focus on your body, sitting in the chair, relaxing a bit with each exhale. With your mind, check in with your body from the top of your head, scanning down your body, and any areas where you may feel tension or discomfort. Mentally send the thought to that area to relax. We are all divine, eternal, spiritual beings, experiencing life in a body. Our bodies are made of millions and millions of tiny cells, all working together to form the perfect vehicle for your life. Send a mental thought to every molecule in your body, every cell, to be open to receiving the healing that is available to you. Bring to your mind our ability to use our imagination to intentionally create healing energy. Imagine and visualize a brilliant, sparkling, yet warm and comfortable white light descending from the center of the universe all the way down in a beautiful beam of light that goes directly to the top of your head. See that light coming down and around your body and forming a bubble of light that completely encircles your being. Visualize the beautiful healing energy coming from the universe down through the top of your head and filling and surrounding every cell of your body. Feel your mind relaxing, your heart opening, and feel gratitude in your heart for the healing that is taking place. Visualize and sense the presence all around this room of powerful healing angels, lining the walls and encircling the room completely. They bring their frequency of love and healing to every single being in the world, but especially to those sitting here in a receptive way, accepting the healing. Have the intention to accept this healing in every area of your life. Visualize every area of your life being bathed in this healing frequency. And whatever discord or dis-ease may exist, intend for this angelic healing light to resolve in the highest way possible whatever is causing you discomfort. Allow that discomfort to just dissipate, just release and float away into the air. Sense all around you the feeling of pure, unconditional love coming from these angels and filling your bubble so that it expands fuller and fuller with healing light. And now, with your intention and the power of your thought, share this healing love by imagining a shiny ray of light going from your heart out into the world. See all your loved ones receiving the love, your friends, your neighbors, your co-workers, people you don't even know. Allow yourself to be used as the instrument for healing in the world. Now visualize with that intent that our entire planet is circled in this healing love. And everything, every animal, every person, every plant on this planet is receiving that revitalizing, rejuvenating energy. The plants absorb it like sunlight. The animals feel it. The minerals soak it up. And from this place of love and sharing, have the thought that you want to invite your loved ones in spirit, your teachers and angels, to come close to you here. Ask them to impress on a message bearer this morning for the highest and clearest message for you at this time. Send a thought of gratitude from your heart. Feel gratitude. Feel the feeling. And send that to your spirit guides and guardians. And from this place of receptivity and healing, once again, scan your body with your mind. Just scan and be aware of any place that still needs a little light. And just with the power of your imagination and your thought, send that healing to that part of you that is in need. Once again, bring your awareness to your body. Feel your weight in the chair. And once again, be aware of your breath. Breathing in the love and the light, and breathing out that which you're ready to release. Thank from your heart with gratitude the universe that has provided this healing energy. Be aware that you can return to this light anytime you wish. The light is always within us and around us. Feel your feet on the floor. Bring awareness back to your body. Awareness of your weight in the chair. Feel the energy of yourself all the way down into your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, open your eyes and return your awareness to this room. If you received a healing resulting in a correction or improvement, please complete the yellow card in the back of the temple. You can give it to the pastor, or you can mail the card to us. On the back side, our address is there. And we'd like to thank our healers for sharing their gift of healing. And from left to right, we have Marty Hadaway, Darlene McCormick, Reverend Deborah Gretton Gamber, Deborah Jordan. On this side, we had Reverend Judy Cooper, Daryl Demerit, and Gio Lewis. And Coquette Cruz. Sorry, Coquette. Okay, and now Jamie will lead us in our next hymn.
If you can rise and turn to page 155 in the garden. I come to the garden floor. Says, he talks and he tells. Another. He speaks and the sound of his voice. And he tells me I'd stay in the garden with you. And he tells another 7. Thank you. You may be seated.
All right. This morning, we have the pleasure of a guest speaker. Her name is Reverend Bobbie Roberts. Bobbie is a world-renowned medium, intuitive, and teacher. She grew up in a spiritualist family where her unique abilities were accepted and encouraged. Bobbie was about 6 years old when she became aware of her guardian angel or spirit guide named Joy. Her family immediately began to teach her how to work with Joy, and by the time she was 16, she was working as a medium in a spiritualist church in Oklahoma City. At 21, Bobbie began studying at Camp Chesterfield, Indiana, and was ordained into the spiritualist ministry in 1973. For many years, she served as a staff medium for Camp Chesterfield and taught at the Universal Spiritualist Seminaries. Upon returning to Oklahoma City, Bobbie worked at the Central Spiritualist Church before founding her own church, the Universal Light Center. She traveled throughout the United States and Canada, teaching metaphysical truths and demonstrating her mediumship through blindfold billets, trance channeling, intuitive readings, and numerology. Bobbie balanced the material and spiritual by raising her daughter as a single parent, working as an accountant and insurance benefits counselor, and serving as the minister of her own church. So with no further delay, I am very pleased to introduce Reverend Bobbie Roberts.
Well, I'm not sure I know who that is with that introduction. It's been so many years, I just kind of play in my garden now and grow vegetables and can and freeze things. It is a pleasure being here. I was telling the group earlier in the back that the first time I ever came to Casadega, this is a nice little story because some of you won't remember those old days. You might, and some of you others. But my dad was on a TDY trip with the Air Force to fix down airplanes, and his crew was over in the Air Force Base in Orlando, which is now the International Airport. And I was in Chesterfield, and my teacher and medium that kind of took me in as a mother was the Reverend Gladys Strum from Chesterfield. And she was coming down here to serve some spiritualist churches. And I said, "Oh, can I ride with you? My parents are in Orlando." And my belly was sticking out kind of like this. You know, I was very pregnant at the time. And I said, "I just kind of like to do that and visit with my parents." She said, "Sure, come on, Bobbie, let's go. Just don't have a baby while you're there." And my mom wanted to come to Casadega. So we drove I-4 to the exit in Casadega. Now I was about 22, 23 at that time. So that's that many years ago. And I'm 76 now. So you can think of the year, you do the math. It was a dirt road, a 2-lane dirt road. Trees everywhere, no buildup like you see today. And then once you got off that 2-lane dirt road to Casadega Drive, it was 1 lane. And everybody had to kind of, if you were going one way, move to the side. You've ever drove country roads. And that's where we finally found Casadega. I thought, wow, this place is in no man's land. We had a great time, and that was my first time in experience with Casadega. Things have changed as far as around you and the building, but the belief system, I think we see better mediums now. I think we see a more open-mindedness than we even did in those ancient days. So my talk today, I want to read from my little book. It's called God's Trombones. A gentleman by the name of James Weldon Johnson, a Black man, wrote this book as sermon and verse according to the visualization of the Black church in the mid-1800s. And it talks to me. It's also can be, I've seen it performed in theater and around with music, and it's just, it talks to my heart. So this one we're going to talk about and read first to go into my lecture is called Go Down Death, a Funeral Sermon. Weep not, weep not. She is not dead. She's resting in the bosom of Jesus. Heartbroken husband, weep no more. Grief-stricken son, weep no more. Left lonesome daughter, weep no more. She's only just gone home. Day before yesterday morning, God was looking down from his great high heaven, looking down on all the children, and his eyes fell on Sister Caroline, tossing on her bed of pain. And God's big heart was touched with pity, with everlasting pity. And God sat back on his throne, and he commanded that tall, bright angel standing at his right hand, call me death. And that bright, tall angel cried in a voice that broke like a clap of thunder, call death, call death. And the echo sounded down the streets of heaven till it reached away back to the shadowy place where death waits with his pale white horses. And death heard the summons, and he leaped on his fastest horse, pale as a sheet in the moonlight. Up the golden streets death galloped, and the hooves of his horse struck fire from the gold, and they didn't make no sound. Up death rode to the great white throne and waited for God's command. And God said, go down, death, go down. Go down to Savannah, Georgia, down in Yamacraw, and find Sister Caroline. She's borne the burden in the heat of the day. She's labored long in my vineyard, and she's tired. She's weary. Go down, death, and bring her to me. And death didn't say a word, but he loosed the reins on his pale white horse. He clamped the spurs to his bloodless sides, and out and down he rode, through the heaven's pearly gates, past suns and moons and stars, on death row. And the foam from his horse was like a comet in the sky, on death row. Leaving the lightning flash behind, straight on down he came. While we were watching around her bed, she turned her eye and looked away. She saw what we couldn't see. She saw, oh, death. She saw, oh, death. But death didn't frighten Sister Caroline. He looked to her like a welcome friend. And she whispered to us, I'm going home. And she smiled and closed her eyes. And death took her up like a baby, and she laid in his icy arms, but she didn't feel no chill. And death began to ride again. Up beyond the morning star, up beyond the evening star, into the glittering light of glory, onto the great white throne. And there he laid Sister Caroline on the breast of Jesus. And Jesus took his own hand and wiped away her tears, and he smoothed the fur off from her face. And the angel sang a little song, and Jesus rocked her in his arms and kept us saying, take your rest. Take your rest. Take your rest. Weep not. Weep not. She is not dead. She's just gone home. I always imagine that when I read it, and the first time I ever experienced it, of the things we have heard, if you were especially going to a Christian church, which I never did except on Easter, and then I always went because I got a new dress, that visualize that in a Disney movie of that horse riding and the excitement of what that would create, and of the time that that was written. It doesn't matter what religious background you have. Most of us come from more of a Christian background. I grew up in Oklahoma City, Southern Baptist Bible Belt. Yeah. And all of us, and I think most everybody, believes in life after death. Or we want to, or we hope so, those type of things. Some call the place that we go heaven. Some say nirvana. The spiritualists and even the Wiccan pagan community uses an old-fashioned term, the summerland. We go back to the summerland. And that we will connect to that divine energy of the universe that we call God, we call Goddess, we call infinite intelligence, the source of all beginnings. To me, I consider that energy divine energy, because everything is energy. Everything. And energy always follows energy. And I feel like that divineness that flows through all things, and I know from personal experience and the way I teach also, that energy flows down to and through me and in everything. So I'm divine. I am divine. You are divine. Your spiritualist manual, we just read those affirmations that we believe in infinite intelligence, that we believe that the soul and the spirit and the body, once it leaves that body, it goes on to a different dimension, a different place. I don't care what you call it. Quantum physics is going to catch up with us big time real soon. And already has in so many ways for those who have studied a bit of that. And I've just studied a little bit of that. But our loved ones are all close to us. And I always say when we lose somebody, you know, I don't feel sorry that they have passed, because they're going to a better place. I always tell my friends when they lose somebody, let's do all hail to the traveler, because they're going on to a better place. They're going to a place that is to their liking, to their making, how they think and what they believe. I had a teacher one time say to the class that if even as young as I was in my 30s, she said, now, Bobbie, you know, you're going to laugh at me and you're going to think this is funny. And I said, probably not, since I'm such an accountant and a Capricorn, and I like change and color outside the box. So go ahead and tell me what you're going to say. And she said that how you think today, how you want to live is up to you. But as you are living and breathing and having your being in this physical world, also project where you want to go, where you want your spirit to experience, because you're making plans for the future when your body dies and you move on. And I thought about that. Back then, I didn't think about it too much because, you know, I was 35 and hey, I'm going to live forever, right? Now that I'm 76, I think about that a little bit more. And now that I have moved to acreage and I love my gardens, I think about it a little differently. And I know that when I pass, my spirit, my soul is going to find a place in that crazy energy of the universe that has a little cabin where nobody can find it, and have a garden and flowers and herbs and make all my stuff and do what I want to, and invite people of other souls and spirits to come visit. That's where I want to go. And if that little place is a big, great big gigantic oak tree hollowed out with the house in it, I'll be even happier. So take me to that kind of place. Okay, so let's talk about spirit for a minute. All of you wouldn't be here today if you weren't wanting a message, right? Let's be honest with ourselves. You want a message to hear from Spirit. And yet, every one of you in this room, every one of you has the ability. It's born within your being to be able to feel and see and sense and know when someone is touching into your energy. It may have been beaten out of you. It may have been talked to you in such a way that that's bad, that's evil, or we don't talk about that in this family. So now you're rediscovering you do have a second sense. You do have, and it's not a second sense. It should be the number one sense to balance out the masculine logical sense. And I can tell you, it's not easy. It came easier for me because I didn't have to go to other types of churches. But I'm an accountant, for peak's sakes. You can't get more logical than an accountant. But at the same time, spiritualism and spiritual truths were more important to me growing up than that. That's how I earned my living. It's how I raised my daughter. Everything else was on the side and was very important. So if I can do this, and I've done a lot of study, a lot of meditation, a lot of practice. I had spiritual teachers that were drill sergeants back in the day. If I drill sergeant any of my students today, it would be like, oh, you're just being so mean to us. They were drill sergeant. I was a drill sergeant, but I had to do my meditations, and I had to do and touch in with Spirit, and 3 times a day. So I got up, I set the clock at 6 o'clock in the morning to do my morning meditation before my daughter would get up, and I would go off to work and school. I would stop at lunchtime, and sometimes in the bathroom, sitting on the john, I would breathe and do a bit of meditation to get away from everybody. And then at night, after everybody went to sleep, I would do my night meditations to be able to go to bed and to let Spirit work, to get that connection, to trust Spirit and to trust the energy that's working with me. So you all can do it. Maybe not as much as I did, because you don't want to do that discipline, but you have the ability. Because, why do you have that ability? If that divine energy, if infinite intelligence, as we were talking about, is divine energy that flows through everything and flows through you, you have that connection whenever you want it. There's a saying that I teach my people to help build energy. All the power that ever was and all the power that ever will be is here right now. Power is available to me by the simple act of my acceptance. I accept, I accept, I accept. And then you feel that energy around you, and you're drawing it to you. That's an invitation for your guide, for your loved ones, for the ancestors, whoever you want to touch with. You are divine. You know, I think sometimes we don't trust ourselves. I know we don't. How many times have you thought that you saw something, you felt something, and you poo-pooed it off? That was my imagination. You don't have to raise your hands. I don't need to know, but we've all done it. I have done it. Spirit, when they come to us, whether it's through a medium or through you, it's so fleeting. Sometimes it can be a challenge. But when they come, it will be something that you can recognize, especially when they connect with you. Because there's no filter. There's no filter from the medium to you. But think about, how many times have you thought you felt an energy, a wind or a breeze, and there was no wind or breeze outside, and you was walking through the woods, and you just felt like a spider web on your face? How many times have you ever had the energy of someone has passed, and all of a sudden you just think about them out of no reason? I remember one time when after my dad died, which was many years ago, but after I bought a 30-acre place in Arkansas, we had a 2-story, 3-story house on the side of the mountain. And I wanted to put some lattice work or something on that bottom part to use that underneath as storage. And I thought, okay, how am I going to do this? What am I going to do? What do I need to purchase? How am I going to create that? And where do I want to put a door? Now, I know that's a logical thinking, but that is my way of saying to Spirit, I need help. I need guidance. And then all of a sudden, I felt this energy. I knew what to do. I just knew what I needed to do. And then all of a sudden, I felt like something moved inside me. And I looked down at my body. I was leaning against a tree the way my dad leaned against a tree when he was thinking. Oh my gosh, he was there. I didn't need anybody to tell me that. It was personal. It was up front. And I was just in tears. Spirit will catch you at the most inopportune time, and that's the best way, when they're going to let you know they're there to give you the help. I had a friend one time. I don't know why she came for the reading. She already had her answer, but okay, if she wants to pay me for a reading, that's okay too. But she came, she says, Bobbie, I think I sensed my mother. I said, you probably did. You want to tell me the experience? Well, you know, she died. And I said, yeah, I know that. I was the one that did the remembrance service. But, you know, one day after we realized she was dying and she had the cancer, that I was taking her around in the golf cart, and I was kind of having tears that this might be the last time I take her driving around in my golf cart. And she reached over and took the tear in her finger like that. And then when she passed on about a couple of months later, this is why I was doing something, I don't remember what it was. And she said, I started crying because I was thinking about my mom. And all of a sudden, somebody touched my tear and wiped it away. That's a spirit communication. Don't even dare think of that was your imagination. Spirit connects with you on every day. Weep not. They are okay. But the problem is we don't trust ourselves and we don't believe. We don't trust ourselves and we don't believe. The first thing I find that you have to believe in is your connection to the divine. Not the connection that the preacher tells you, not the connection that somebody else tells you, but what is your connection to the divine? And how do you feel with that connection to the divine? And what does it do to you to want to live a better life, that connection to the divine? And then you got to trust yourself. Man, is that the hardest part, is trusting yourself. I can tell you, I've been doing this for 76 years. Well, not quite 70, 60. And even today, I don't care what any medium tells you, there are times we have a sense to doubt ourselves too. It's just part of the way it works. But we have learned to step beyond that doubt and give whatever we feel or sense, even though it may not make sense to us. Because it's not supposed to make sense to me, really, as long as it makes sense to you. Energy, that divine energy flows through you all the time. We stop the flow of energy. Nobody else does. And that's what I like about your fourth principle. We believe that the existence of personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. They will come to you in their own way, in their own time. I can tell you at my house, as many years as my mother's been gone, as many years as my partner, Ina's mother has been gone, and every place we have moved and lived, my mother and her mother follows us around. And we have on our always have one wall that Ina's mother painted the 4 seasons. So, and they get crooked every time I turn around. And so when I go and straighten them up again, I said, okay, Mom, you're here. And then The same thing with my mom. There is other things in the house she likes to play with. She likes shiny things. She's kind of like a little spirit kid that likes shiny things. I know you have those experiences. Honor that. Say, thank you, Mom. Glad you were here today. And then here's what happens. Then we go to, wonder what Mom was trying to tell me. Better go to a meeting because I need to find out what Mom was trying to tell you. Mom was telling you that she loves you and she's there to help you. That's what Mom's telling you. It's no big thing she's trying to tell you and tell you what to do with your life, because we don't tell you what to do with your life. Spirit doesn't tell you what to do with your life. They help you. They love you. And that's the message. Accept that and be happy for that connection. So how do we feel? How do we work with spirit to a certain degree? You've got to work with, if you know something, if something pops into your head and you just know it, follow that. You know, I'm an accountant. And when I used to have about 7, 8 women in my accounting part of my office there, I had all kinds of different people. I had one woman, she could see a picture. She could see the big picture of what we were going to do. So she was kind of an intuitive seeing person, but I never used the word knowing with her. That I just knew that project was going to work because I lost her. But if I could show her and get her to see on a logical level and an intuitive level, now I've got her. She could handle the project. Most of us are feeling people. That ends up knowing and feeling and sensing. But open yourself up to spirit. Open yourself up to that force. Gandhi said this: there is a force in the universe which, if we permit it, will flow through us and produce miraculous results. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Bobbie. That was very nice. All right. We are now going to have a musical interlude with our vocalist, Jamie Osmond. And during the musical interlude, we'll be passing the basket, and we thank you in advance for your generosity.
Okay, so my disclaimer, this is the first time I picked up this guitar since Christmas. I don't know, I wouldn't be clapping just yet. So, isn't it great that Spirit is with us though, and that we can call on him anytime? And sometimes I think we tend to forget that, especially in our darkest hour when we really, really need them, whether it be Spirit, whether it be our loved ones. When the weight of the world bears down so strong, you leave footprints on the street. When there's too many miles to face, without a few more hours of sleep. If I mess up, I'm just gonna sing a song of Poco. When the storm clouds overhead won't shed any rain, when you're gonna be on you reach for first. When your faith is stretched so thin that you can't see straight through your soul, and you can't find a nickel to buy a song, 'cause your pocket's all about loose. You wanna shut the door and hide before the day get much worse. Wanna be one to reach for first. Fall to me. My arms strong and say a word. That it's hard to say I want to be when you reach for first. Wanna be the bottle you've been drinking with your eyes, or the road you run away. You've been running all your life. Third row pew, you last knew as a child in the church. I wanna be the one to reach for first. For I have to say a word. It's hard and scared and you're tired and it hurts and I wanna be the one you reach for first. Before you turn my keys, before you go to sleep, before you drift away to thought those fingers waiting for you in your dreams, before your arms stretch wide open, before you reach into the sky, before you search out all directions for all the answers to your why. All my life is patient. You don't have to say a word, because I don't know if you see that it's hard and scared and tired and yes, it's hard and you're scared and you're tired and it hurts and I wanna be the one you reach for.
And if you would allow that I say a prayer of gratitude, we like to ask infinite intelligence to please bless those who gave and bless those who received in the highest and best. And so be it. All right. Now I have a few announcements for you. Next Wednesday, March the 8th, our message bearer will be the Reverend Don Cassidy. Next Sunday, March the 12th, our guest speaker at our 10:30 service will be the Reverend Steve Herman. Every Sunday, we have an adult lyceum, also known as Sunday School, from 9:30 to 10:15, that will now be held at the Andrew Jackson Davis Building. Next Sunday, March 12th, our lyceum speaker will be the Reverend Deborah Gretton Gamber. Today, which is March the 5th, we have a workshop called Learn I Ching with Reverend Dr. Lewis Gates from 2 to 4 at the Andrew Jackson Davis Building, and that's at $25. We have Becoming a Spiritualist with Robin Matutino, me, 6 to 8 at the AJB Building, that's $10. Mini reading night will be tomorrow night, March the 6th. In the Andrew Jackson Davis Building, we'll be having 15-minute mini readings beginning at 7 p.m. Certified mediums are 25 and student mediums are 15, and that goes to help the camp. To participate in absentee healing, please print the name and first initial of the last name of a loved one, a friend, or even a pet in our healing book back here at the left corner of Colby Temple. And flyers for the camp events are at the back of the temple. We have an activities calendar and a church bulletin in your hymnal. We ask that you please take that home and share with your friends. Our website is casadega.org and also has a monthly information calendar as well that is kept updated. And now Jamie will lead us in our next hymn.
If you could rise and turn to page 175, Be Happy.
Be With sunshine, music and love. And more. Ways. I got you. You praise. Which love so deep. Thank you. You may be seated.
All right, for the message portion of our service, Reverend Bobbie Roberts will be your message bearer. Thank you, Bobbie.
Can everybody hear me just fine? Okay. It's always a great amount of pleasure to stand between the two worlds and bring the messages of your loved ones. When I kind of say something to somebody, I'm going to say, this, for instance, I like to talk to the couple right here in the front row. Give me your voices. Say hi. Okay, now we have an energy that's flowing, and that's what I like. So you can either tell me your name, or you can just say hi to me. But be nice, okay? I am an old crone, and I can get kind of bossy. Okay, as I come to you, are you guys a couple? Okay, but you look like you should be. I'm gonna put you on the spot now, see? But anyway, you're a very beautiful couple. And as I touch with your energy, I'm sensing a combination of energy between the both of you, of someone who's in spirit that you both care for, you both love very much, that probably went to spirit too early than they should have. Does that make sense to you? And it's reaching that person, and that their soul is reaching out to both of you and sending their love and their blessings, and want you to know that that you did a lot of good things apparently for them that helped them along life's way somehow. Does that make sense to you? Okay. Also, when I touch with your energy, I'm sensing, I'm not sure who it is, but there's something about a new job or possibly career changes around one of you. Is it you, sir? Okay. And, you know, it's going to be for the best. Yeah. I kind of thought I would say to you, kind of being that grandmother energy, that honey, it's going to work out. It's going to work out. And I feel that there's a little bit better of finances than that. Maybe not in the very beginning, but there's going to be some things that's going to work out much better financially. And don't spend it all in one place. Start learning to save a little better, you too. Thank you. As I reach out now, what's your name? John. There's so many kind of jokes I could tell with that. But John, when I touch with your energy, oh goodness, I've always, this pollen is a pain in the neck, isn't it? But when I touch with your energy, I'm sensing a gentleman by you standing there, and the energy that I get from him, he might have been like a grandfather or something like that, but I'm getting a sense of a man that worked with his hand, that worked with his hands and worked hard his life. Does that make sense to you? Father, grandfather, something would be in that line there. Okay. And, you know, when she was singing her song, and now that I've touched your energy, I just get a sense that there's some things going on around you that you need to get back out to the country a little bit. You need to take some not paved walking trails. You understand what I'm saying? But nice, simple walking trails that's got the leaves on them, and get out and do some walking meditation. Just breathe in the springtime energy, because there's some stuff going on around you that you need to get clarity in your head. Does that make sense? Okay, and when you can do that, I want to say that something around as the energy's out here. So I'm going to give it a thought that in the next 4 to 5 weeks, as we go into mid-April, end of April, some things are going to be more clear to you, and it's going to be better, some better financial things going to work out for you. Thank you, and God bless you. As I reach out now, I'm going to touch one of the ladies right over here. Which one's going to raise a hand? I'm right here. You were too late, huh? But we'll get there. Okay, what's your name, Vicky? Ah, very good. You know, when I touch with your energy, I just want to dance. I just feel like you know how you it's an over commercial, but you might get it. It says the song with my clothes are too sexy on my body. You know that dance? You want to dance and put the music on. It's good to be an old lady with a slender figure, because I can still see that. But I want you to dance more. Don't worry about what anybody says, what anybody thinks. Turn the music on, shut the doors, don't let anybody in, but dance and have a good time. You're creating, you're storing an energy. And as you're doing that, then put out the thought that what you want to draw to you. Because now you've got the energy swirling, you've got the energy moving, and while you're doing and having that high energy, project the things you want to you. And I feel one of the things I fish that you want to project to you right now, there's some stuff going on with, again, with you, some job, career stuff or something. You need some money, don't you? Yeah. Huh? Your house? Oh, you need money. Yeah. There's so many things out there. Oh, bless you, my child. Okay, well, put that in. Things are going to work out. You're heading in the right direction, but you get through the house, the wedding, and then let yourself calm down just enough. But there is a new opportunity or a job or something in the next 6 months. I'm going to say this will be very profitable for you. And not only that, you're going to be happier, because where you've been, you haven't been that happy, right? Say yes. Okay, thank you. I'm going to come to the middle of the group now. Let's see here. Oh my goodness, too many of you. Yeah, shake your head. I'm with this lady on the front that's rubbing her forehead. What's your name? Paige. Yeah, you, Paige. Okay, we got it. Okay, Paige. When I sit with your energy, I'm getting boy, you can be a bulldog, can't you? Say yes. Yes, ma'am. You're gonna get. Sometimes that gets you do know that gets you in trouble sometimes. Yes, ma'am. I read a thing on Facebook today from a friend of mine. I think she was sending it to me, that sometimes my mind is thinking things and it comes out of my mouth before I filter it. You understand? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Start learning to breathe before you let it filter, okay? Yes, ma'am. Do some breath, breathe through it, but the thinking, you know, you can't stand, sit in a place or be in a place, oh golly, that place, it's just a real slob. And then it comes out of your mouth as you're talking to your friend too loud. Okay, so breathe, think about what you're saying, because words are power. And when I teach in everybody wants a class in spells and spells and spells. Spells is positive thinking. That's all it is. But the most important spell you can ever use is 2 words. I can. I can succeed. I can. So you need to put more positive energies into what you're projecting for you, and not worry about anybody else. There is a lady there behind you that it gives me a sense that more like a motherly energy. And she is very proud of you. But I also get the same, sometimes she wants to bonk you on the head. It's not the Gibbs bonk, okay? But there is a bonk and there, and she just wants you to know she's watching over you and she's trying to help keep you in the straight and narrow. Thank you and God bless you. Yeah, one more. I've been limited. Okay. I'm not gonna ask a stupid question of who wants a message. Oh, goodness. I'm gonna touch the gentleman right over here who's got the whiskers. Yeah, it's you. What's your name, sir? Buzz? Is that your real name or nickname? Okay, you don't have to tell me your real name. Okay, Buzz, but when I touch with your energy, there is something going on around you. I don't know whether it's with a personal thing or work or whatever, but I just feel like you need to stomp your feet and get yourself moving. There's something that you're not real happy about, and this is the time to express your opinion logically and sincerely to clear the air. Does that make sense in a very nice way? Does that say yes? Because you've been trying, here's the thing, your wife has been kind of going like this, or somebody's going like this, to say, now be nice, choose your words. And she's right, or whoever's still saying that to you, but it's time to clear some air. And your father is standing there behind you, and he had some really strict ideas. But I feel a gentleman there with very strict ideas, and they didn't take with you too well. But know they're there and they love you and thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Bobbie. We would like to remind everyone that we will have an afternoon message service from 12 to 12:30 here in Colby Temple. A group of mediums and student mediums will be giving spirit greetings to as many as they can, reach within approximately 30 minutes. Everyone is welcome, and we encourage you to visit our bookstore, which is open from 11:30 to 5 today and open Mondays through Saturdays from 10 to 6. And now if you would please rise for our closing hymn.
You turn to page 203, let there be peace. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let us walk with each other and let peace be with me. Let this be all enough. With I take today.
And if we could remain standing for the benediction. Infinite intelligence, we thank you for this time that we've had together this morning to gather. We appreciate the words of our speakers, the healing received, and we ask that all people return again safely. And this in all sincerity. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you all very much. Chicks hatching all over the place. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, you were driving somewhere yesterday and there was chicken on the road. I was like, "Hey, let's go back and bring them to Robin." I'm like, there was one of these back roads. It was like, you didn't even know where we were, but it was like nothing but trees. It's like one of those horror movies, right? And then we just drove and all these trees. And we're like, oh my God, the Robin.
Well,
Hi, no, I'm telling you.
I had one getting ready to come out of the show when I left. And,